For those of you who, with whom I have worked together in the past, I know that you are quite familiar with my videos and that I like to make videos, but hey, you are not familiar with this background, admit it. And that is because my desktop, which has Vista on it, but that's not the problem, started acting up a couple of weeks ago and it wouldn't start. And my son says it needs a power source, but I just haven't gotten around to getting one because I have my laptop. And therefore, I am using my laptop to make this video, and you get a different background because this is my dining room. You still see the blue glass over there, which is what you can see in the background of my other videos, but hey, you get to see my armoire and my artwork, and not my artwork, but anyway. Moving on, I know I'm already digressing. And so far this term, you've not heard a lot from me, and there is a reason for that. I have contacted several instructors on issues or saying, hey, good job, etc., etc. But this term, this team is almost all, I don't want to say old faculty because that indicates that you're aged, and I'm the only one that's aged here. I'm getting Medicare this year, so yeah, I'm moving on up there. But you are experienced faculty. You've been teaching at SNHU for quite some time, a couple years at least, and so you pretty much have things down pat. And I don't see the need to keep sending out reminders or explanations to everybody if they don't apply to everybody. But I am going to make a couple of general remarks about announcements in this video because these are the things that I see that perhaps could use a little bit of a boost in the announcements of several instructors. And so this applies to you. Take it and apply it. And if it doesn't, then say, hey, Gwen, I'm already doing that. And again, if announcements really needed a boost, I've already contacted instructors who needed to boost their announcements. Now, the biggest thing that I see that is missing in announcements is the bridge from the previous week. Announcements will just begin, hey, it's week 4, it's week 3, and there is no bridge, there's no transition from the week before, and we need to put in that transition so student can see the wider context and how everything is interconnected and related. So review your announcements, and if you're not putting that bridge in, then put it in. Connect those ideas, the lessons, etc. for the students so they can see the continuity of the classroom and the reason why it is structured the way it is and how each module builds on the previous module. And the other thing that I see is that instructors are not always previewing the assignments and the lessons for the coming week. And this is easy to do. You copy and paste the reading and the lessons, and you copy and paste the assignments, and just put them down at, usually I put mine at the bottom of my announcements and say, here is the material for the week, and here are the assignments for a week. And I can hear you say, Gwen, shouldn't they know this? Yeah, and they are checking the module, but it is really easy to overlook things. Or maybe that's just because I'm getting Medicare this age, this year, that it's easy for me to overlook things. But reinforcing that information will also benefit your students, and they are less likely to miss an assignment or a reading if they are posted in announcements. And sometimes we need to emphasize the readings even more. For example, I'm not teaching 229 this term, but I usually teach it, and I'll be teaching it again next term. And students often overlook, and instructors have overlooked this as well, that in one of the modules there is a reading that is not in the text, and it is about possible scientific theories for the flood. And if students overlook that, they they write in their blogs that present the myths as theories, and myths aren't theories. So it is good to emphasize that, and especially for something that they could easily overlook and will overlook. And also intellectual and instructional presence. And some announcements need more of this. Now, instructional presence is covering the materials and course objectives and emphasizing those. And intellectual presence could be videos or expounding on information and giving your professional experience. And in literature, our knowledge base is our professional experience. In some other areas, for example, creative writing, instructors who have gone through the publishing aspect, that is perhaps their personal experience in publishing, et cetera, but ours is more of our knowledge base and what it is we know about the material that we are covering. The videos can reinforce those objectives, etc. But videos can also cover items that are current in the field. And they just don't have to be videos. They can be links as well. And so I see quite a few instructors really strong in the instructional intellectual presence. And some instructors need to develop that a little bit more. Also remember that you don't need to pack all of that instructional and intellectual presence into the weekly module. You can post a couple of announcements throughout the week and add those, and I will see those. And don't overdo it. Don't post an announcement every day, because I want to do that, and it can truly overload and overwhelm the students to where they will start tuning out the announcements, and then they might miss something that is important. I also want to add that if you are providing that instructional and intellectual presence strongly in the discussions, then that can be adequate for meeting that aspect. But if you mix it up, you're covering all your bases, and it is going to be very apparent. So that is basically it about announcements. And again, this team is pretty much on it, and again, your experience and you have it under your belt. I have a couple of new instructors, and we're coming along there. And sometimes we just need a bit of gentle reminding about what it is that we need to be doing, and I was going to say should be doing, but I guess that's kind of the same thing, isn't it? I'm going to end there about announcements, and I have examples of announcements. If anybody would like to see those, I would be happy to share them. I am still getting used to Connect, and I wanted to make a group for the team in Connect, and as yet, I guess we can't make groups. So I'm going to post this video on Connect, but I'm also sending it out, a link out in an email where I do have a group created. And at that point, I'm going to stop rambling and let you get back to what it is that you are doing, but keep these items in mind, these issues in mind, when you are creating your weekly announcements.